Kings are a game and a half behind Seattle in the NFC West. The Lakers hung on for a 1-point win at Utah. Impressive double-double for LeBron and Anthony Davis. 33 points and 13 rebounds for AD. LeBron finished with 27 points and 14 assists. The Clippers beat Denver by 4. James Harden served up 39 points and 11 assists. The Big Ten Conference handed out a $100,000 fine to Michigan and Ohio State for the post-game brawl after Saturday's football game. The conference said the players involved would not be disciplined. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and bomb. Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair.
KBLA Talk 1580. Being joined by the former host of Basic Family Affairs. He's knows a thing or two about family affairs. He's spent more than 30 years guiding the elderly and families through complex government regulations. He helps middle-class and low-income families protect and preserve their hard-earned assets while getting government benefits to pay for things like skilled nursing home care. He's the CEO and founder of the Glendale-based company, Nursing Home Solutions, attorney Zoran Basich. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you so much, and too kind, and I'm not so sure I can live up to it, but I try real hard.
You always live up to it. So, yeah, I mean, it's the holiday season. I typically do try to talk to you around the holiday season, Zoran, because these are opportunities. There's the peril, too, but there's also opportunities to have these family conversations that we need to be having about our paperwork, our retirement, our insurance, our Social Security, our wills and trusts, all that family business that we like to be in denial about and ignore. This is the best time to bring it up, right?
Well, those are the practical aspects of life. And, as we get older and as our family members get older, it's really critical that we're talking and that we've got a plan and that we've got some idea where we're going with things. And if we don't know what to do, get the information we need from people like you, like me, so that, we're well pointed. It costs you a lot of money if you're not prepared for retirement and post-retirement events. So, if the family listening to Dominique, need to be aware of having trusts, wills, powers of attorney. We need decent lawyers making sure you get what you need without spending a lot of money doing it. It's not expensive stuff, but we tend to put it off at all costs because nobody wants to deal with those topics. Nobody wants to deal with the problem. But here's a good piece of information. If you are looking at a nursing home stay, they're about $25,000 to $40,000 if the care is at home. Right now, Medi-Cal can get you care, if you know what you're doing, for somewhere in the neighborhood of almost nothing, because Medi-Cal has basically taken most of the rules away from benefits and basically replaced them with just an income test. So,
yeah, and we talk about this from time to time when you come on. People think of Medi-Cal as just like health insurance for people that are poor, but Medi-Cal does have a program for long-term care, and that can apply to middle-class or working-class families, where they'll actually pay for your nursing home stay if you know how to fill out the paperwork. That's where an attorney like Zoran Basich or another attorney who's an elder care expert can come in, because once they fill out that paperwork, you're much more likely to be approved, right?
Yeah, and it's very important because at the end of the day, you want to make sure your loved one's getting the care they need. The problem is, once we fill out the paperwork, we think that they're going to do their job. Not everybody does their job, as we all have over the years learned. So you have to stay vigilant. Those of you who are going to see your loved ones in a facility over the Christmas holidays, make sure you take a good look at how they're doing. Take a look at their skin. Take a look at if there's any kind of skin breakdown. Take a look at their water. One of the things that happens in a facility is they put a bottle of water at the end of a table or a little stand that your mom or dad might be using. The problem is mom and dad may have dementia. They may not remember they have to drink. They may not remember that they didn't drink. They may not remember that it's something that's for them. So at the end of the day, they have a UTI. UTI will lead into another problem, a breakdown of skin. And before you know it, you got a severe problem that you can't fix. So something as simple as a camera and the children being on it and looking and asking for pictures and taking the sheets and pulling them back and making sure you look at the heels and look at the butt and look at the back. Because, if you can avoid some of this stuff, your mom and dad will live a long time without any problem. If you can't avoid it, they're going to have some serious events. So,
and not only that, you may end up just realizing that the spot you have them in is not the best spot for them. I mean, if they're consistently having bed sores and things like that, they're probably not being cared for at the level that they should be, right? I mean, and one of the things I learned from you is we got to look at not just what we see when we're there. We got to pop up unexpectedly and inspect that nursing home. Well, there's a huge difference between the for-profit and the non-profits, and if we can manage to get our loved one into a non-profit, we're going to be better off, right?
Yes, because they're going to take care of them rather than take care of their pocketbook. So at the end of the day, again, it's really very important. And now that we've got President Trump coming into play, I'm not. Everything's going to be up in the air for a while, but as it settles down and settles in, you're going to find rules changing. Things that normally you would expect to go one way may go another way. So you need to be on top of your game as far as who's advising you, who knows what. You need to be listening to KBLA because they're bringing up the latest topics. At the end of the day, again, it's really critical that you know as much as you can about everything you can. So, simple. Everybody here that's listening should have a simple will or a trust. If you own a piece of property, any property, you should have a trust because you'll avoid probate. That'll save you a lot of money, a lot of headaches, and a lot of dealings with lawyers that you don't want to deal with anyway. So make sure everybody has a trust. If you own property, if you're going to inherit property, make sure you have a trust and will. powers of attorney so that, your loved ones can do things and make decisions on your behalf. I keep getting these situations where families don't want to talk about things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The problem is, by not talking about things that are uncomfortable, later on they become an inherent mess. And there's a fight, there's a disagreement, and half the money spent fighting over who gets what. Whereas mom and dad need to be able to say, look, this is what I want, this is how I want it, and someone needs to get it drafted up so that at the end of the day, there is a good will in place, a good trust in place, and good powers of attorney. And it doesn't cost thousands of dollars, which is one of the problems. Everybody out there has heard these, we'll do it for $100. You listen to them for $100, and then they go, but there's these additional costs and fees. So again, now that we're into the holidays, please take an extra visit. Don't let them know when you're coming. Just like Dominique said, show up and give them a once over to make sure that mom and dad are getting the care they need.
Yep, we're talking with Attorney Zoran Basich. If you need some help, if you need some advice, if you need some clarity, you can call 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. When we come forward and continue this conversation, I want to look at, how the policies of the president-elect may impact those things we're talking about, Medicare, Medi-Cal, Medicaid, and what we ought to be doing to get ourselves ready, if anything. We're in conversation with Attorney Zoran Basich and you, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Talking with attorney Zoran Basich, an elder care specialist with decades of experience, especially in navigating these crazy government regulations, protecting your money, your home, and your savings when you have to pay for a nursing home and the like. And a lot of Gen X folks have boomer parents who need care now. A lot of boomers are trying to navigate their own care now, and so on. And one of the things that we've heard about, a lot about, is further cuts to Medicaid, and in California it's called Medi-Cal. These are coverage programs for low-income people. And we'll talk about Social Security in a little bit, but I want to start there because the president-elect and the Republican Party is saying now that they want to pick Dr. Mehmet Oz as the leader of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid.
Yes.
And this is a guy who, a talk show host. He's been in bed with a lot of these pharmaceutical companies pushing things like Ozempic and other things with infomercials right in the middle of his show, which he clearly has a financial stake in. Yeah, so I don't know if he'll even get confirmed, but he could be. What is this signaling to you, this pick and some of the rhetoric that we're already hearing around Medicaid and Medi-Cal? Not just the rhetoric, the moves that Republican governors have made in various states where they have the governorships to limit Medicaid help for people in their states.
Well, Trump has a fairly large ego, as we all know. The people he's hiring, like Oz, have fairly large egos, as we know. And bottom line is, nothing's going to go lightly or easily. Everything that they're talking about that sounds like it's all fait accompli won't be so complete until they can all get along over what it is that they're running and not running. So Oz, for one, doesn't know much about the system. So he's going to have to figure out what and how to manage it. And then he's going to have to try to manage a very large system that's very unruly. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and you and I were going back and forth on what the appointments were that Trump was making. And my response was, look, he can appoint anybody he wants, but at the end of the day, he's got to get them through the system. And they all have their own way of irritating everybody else. So you get all these egos in a room, and you're going to get almost nothing done, which is actually advantageous to us at this point. So I think you're going to have benefits that are necessary. I think they're not going to change that, because they change that, they change the dollars they're making with the pharmaceuticals and others. So everybody's got a vested interest in not changing status quo.
When we talked a couple weeks ago and kind of preparing for today, you basically were talking me off the ledge, saying that, it's going to be hard for them to get the things done that they say they're going to do, partly because these are these massive bureaucracies with all kinds of rules and regulations that are not that easy to navigate.
No, and they're not that easy to make direction changes. I mean, it can take years to make one change in one direction. So, again, I think we're going to be better off than we think. We're not happy about what we've got, but we certainly can work with it if we're smart enough to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, good way to look at it. We've got folks in the YouTube chat. That's at KBLA 1580. If you want to join in, just go to YouTube and type in KBLA 1580. They're always having a robust conversation. When you... Okay, Jacqueline Anderson is asking, and the way she wrote it, it's a little hard to understand. But when you have someone to take care of you, will Medicare still cover your end-of-life stay in a nursing home?
No, you're talking about two different things. One is a situation where you have hospice care, I believe, and then the other question is, at end of life, you're basically, I mean, anybody you want can come in and help take care of you, but will they pay for it? That's the problem.
Right.
And they generally will pay for people that, you're talking, in effect, SSI, Supplemental Security Income, and then whether it's IHSS, which is a variety of programs that basically give you someone to come home and help take care of you and get paid for that work. They can pay up to about 160 hours a month, but rarely do. But if you're that ill, you're really going to want to be someplace where there are people who can take care of you, provide you the care you need. And nowadays, if you've got assets and property, in the old days, Medi-Cal wouldn't let you have benefits. Now you can own a home, you can own other real estate and other assets. As long as it's in a trust, they're not going to come after it later on for recovery. That's a very big difference.
Right.
It's a very big change.
So that means you could get the Medi-Cal to cover the nursing home stay and still keep your home.
Yes, and that's a very big deal because in the old days you had a dollar amount, an income amount, all kinds of stuff. Now there's only an income test. And again, if you have a husband and wife and the two of them have decent pensions or whatever we're working with, bottom line is you can keep all the income for the healthy spouse, go to court, get a support order that says, wife gets to keep it all to live off of it, and husband gets benefits from the system.
Right.
And that is a very, very, very good thing for everybody. But at the end of the day, again, you have to know about the program in order to know how to take advantage of it. Yep. That's why it's so important to listen to Dominique or others like that, because you're going to hear about things you don't normally know.
Okay, so Jacqueline Anderson, and someone down here was saying this in the chat. Oh, yeah, it was Forensic Accountant saying Kamala Harris was in support of providing a level of care that would allowed all of us to receive in-home care. From what I understand, people were more concerned about the price of eggs. Shaking my head. Agreed. She was talking about covering in-home care, but currently it's not really covered most of the time. So it sounds like, to your question, Jacqueline, you would have to get Medi-Cal, if you're in California, to pay for long-term care, and you would be well served to go to Nursing Home Solutions, which is Zoran's company, or another elder care attorney, and have them help you fill out that paperwork so that you get approved, and they would cover the cost. Honey Brown 24 says she's asking, as a caregiver, she's a caregiver, and she says, when is a power of attorney needed, and what are the different types? Also, what is the difference between a living will and a will?
So, first of all, power of attorney. There's power of attorney for health care. There's power of attorney for finance. They're two different tools, and they have to be signed and notarized. And it's really very important to have them in place, because if you, as the person taking care of the particular loved one, you can't go deal with the bank, you can't go deal with anybody unless you're in a place where you've got a power of attorney allowing you to do that. So powers of attorney cost $2 to $4. They're not expensive. You can get them in any stationery store. But bottom line is they have to be signed, dated, and notarized, and they have to be done in a time when you are alert and oriented. So one of the big problems we have is if you wait till someone has a stroke, or if you wait till they're so ill or so demented that they can't really remember where they are and don't know, they're not able to give you a power of attorney because they're no longer able to sign it. I mean, they may be able to sign their name, but it'll have no value. So again, please, if you're around this Christmas, take the time, talk to the loved one, find out what they would like done and how they would like it done. And then you, as the power of attorney holder for them, are going to have the responsibility of doing these things for the family. And it's a real responsibility, and it's a real problem if you don't have the tools.
Yeah.
You want to do it.
I mean, so just to be clear, you got to get the power of attorney for healthcare and one for finance while you or the person that you're getting them for are still well enough to be considered competent. Otherwise, it's not worth the paper it's written on. And
Correct.
And I have a friend who I was talking to about this because they don't have powers of attorney for health care or finance. They're a married couple. But she was telling me, well, we're married, so I will automatically have say-so over, or he will automatically have say-so over me when it comes to health decisions because we're a married couple. But that's not true, is it?
No, Dominique. Remember, we used to talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you don't like your husband or wife, you have a power of attorney. Under that theory, you can just simply put them in a nursing home, close the door, lock, throw away the key, and not deal with them anymore. And so if you got a power of attorney from someone inappropriately, the bottom line is you're going to abuse that person. So the system doesn't want you abusing anybody. So we basically want a doctor's letter that says dad or mom is alert and oriented enough to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. And that's really very important. And again, if you haven't done it, get it done. If you have done it, go find it. The other problem we have, Dominique, is someone did something like a power of attorney or did a trust 10 years ago and haven't looked at it in 9.5 years.
And no one knows where it is. Right.
No, and, yeah, it's a well-kept secret. And again, the bottom line is you want to have every document you have that's going to affect your life shared with the people that you trust to do that.
Yeah. Look, Zoran, when my own mama died, we didn't know where her will was, and she never told us. So by the time we got it, she had already been gone for 3 years. So, yeah, I mean, you got to have the paperwork and someone's got to know where it is, have a copy of it or know where it is. So there's a bunch of questions here in this chat, and we'll get to them after news and traffic and sports, which is coming up right here. But to Honey Brown 24's basic question, a power of attorney is needed always. Like you can have it in place, you don't have to use it, but you don't want to try to get it when the person's already had a stroke or is incapacitated. We'll continue our conversation with attorney Zoran Basich when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Closing arguments are expected today in the New York City subway chokehold trial. Former Marine Daniel Penny is charged with manslaughter and negligent homicide for the 2023 death of Jordan Neely, a homeless man. Penny's lawyers claim he was protecting others while prosecutors argue his actions were excessive. The FBI warns holiday shoppers to beware of scam websites advising users of Chrome, Safari, and Edge to check for a padlock in the address bar for security. They recommend researching websites and reading reviews to avoid scams. World Central Kitchen is pausing operations in Gaza after an Israeli attack on one of their vehicles killed several workers. The DC-based organization announced Saturday that it is still gathering details following the airstrike. And Australia is passing a landmark ban on social media for children under 16. Last Thursday, the country's Senate overwhelmingly voted to pass the ban, which will take at least a year to go into effect. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Want to save up to 50% on new blinds? Blinds.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters at prices far less than big box retailers. And right now, save up to 50% off through December 10th during our Cyber Week sale. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers and Rams got wins on the road Sunday. 4 interceptions by the Chargers defense sparked a 17-13 win in Atlanta. Rookie cornerback Tarheeb Steele returned one of the interceptions, 61 yards for a touchdown. The Chargers are 8-4. They're at Kansas City next Sunday night. The Rams are back at 500 after a 21-14 win at New Orleans. The Rams are a game and a half behind Seattle in the NFC West. The Lakers hung on for a 1-point win at Utah. Impressive double-double for LeBron and Anthony Davis, 33 points and 13 rebounds for AD. LeBron finished with 27 points and 14 assists. The Clippers beat Denver by 4. James Harden served up 39 points and 11 assists. The Big Ten Conference handed out a $100,000 fine to Michigan and Ohio State for the post-game brawl after Saturday's football game. The conference said the players involved would not be disciplined. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. The Equinox EV and all-new Equinox, America's best compact SUV for new vehicle quality by J.D. Power, offer both confidence and style to see you through the holiday season. It's easy to see why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Award based on 2024 models. For J.D. Power 2024 U.S. Industrial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 26.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25.
An official message from Medicare. Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
And Attorney Zoran Basich is my guest. A lot of conversation in the chat. I love that so much because thank you, you guys, because I always want to know what information you need, want, or are just interested in from guests I have on. And Zoran Basich is one of the premier experts on elder care in the country. I was relieved to hear Zoran say he thinks, kind of like what Starving Myself to Life said earlier in the show, that 98% of the stuff that the president-elect and the Republican Party are saying they're going to do, they are not going to be able to do. I hope that's right. I hope he's just as successful in dismantling, our healthcare safety net as he is in building a wall. but it's still worrisome when you hear RFK, when you hear Dr. Oz. RFK, and for someone like me who's a alternative health enthusiast, some of the things he says, I think, yeah, we should be less dependent on pharmaceuticals. But other things he says seem reckless and dangerous. And I think about, the possible repercussions of the conflicts of interest of a Dr. Oz and the odd, non-qualified medical opinions of RFK. And I feel like, this is disaster. I know Project 2025, they're talking about cutting Social Security, and the president-elect said on the campaign trail that he would consider cuts to Social Security. He tried it twice when he was in office. I know it's easier said than done, but what should we be worried about this, and what should we be doing, Zoran, to protect ourselves?
I don't think you should be worried, because it's just going to be energy. We don't know what they're going to be able to do. We don't believe that they're going to be able to do very much. They're more about talk than they are about action, and they're more about noise than anything else. So again, they're going to get mired in junk and stuff and garbage. And at the end of the day, bottom line, they're going to have a real problem on their hands. And they're not stupid. They may be difficult, but they're not stupid. And they're going to figure out that maybe it's in their best interest. And then when you look at Trump, he just likes to be the hero. So as long as you give him something to be a hero about, he can be very busy in the corner for a long time. So again, I really don't think they're going to do as much damage as we perceive. I don't think they're going to do as much that it's going to be problematic. But we have to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant. We have to be loud. We have to be available to be seen. And that means we have to speak up. And then all of us have to take steps to make sure that we are in the best possible financial position we can be in when we get older. Because, when you retire, you're dealing with a fixed pot of money, and you got to make sure you're not wasting it. So again, everything that'll give you more information is probably a good thing for you to do. And to overwhelm yourself or worry about how this is going to play out, they're going to have so many problems. Believe me, it will be a long 4 years. So I don't think it's going to be pleasant, because they're going to be loud and obnoxious, but I think they're going to be ineffective.
Okay, so second part of Honey Brown 24's question was the difference between a will and a living will. I'm not sure she means a living trust. Can you break that down?
Sure. A will is basically something that you leave to the world at large, letting them know what you want and what the things you own. A living will is basically usually part of a living trust. You can create a will that basically goes into effect when you pass away, and it's called a testamentary will. Or you can create a living will that basically is created now, and you can change it as often as you need to. My mother used to change her will about me about every other day. She had a delete button on the computer I think she had installed. And I'm not kidding. I mean, she'd get mad at me, and man, I'd be out of there in no time. So, and all of you need to know and look and find out what mom and dad have done with their estates, because you may have choices that could save you thousands of dollars in capital gains, other taxes, because of the property appreciating, because it's been in a family a long time. So you want to make sure you get good advice, good accountant advice, before you go out and sell it, encumber it, or do anything else that might possibly harm the family in the long run by doing things you don't know better than to do.
But a living trust is what you would recommend, right?
Well, yes, because you can do it now. It's in place. It doesn't have to. It can be revocable. You don't have to make it irrevocable. with the living trust right now, and living simply means you're alive when you made it, and it's working now while you're alive. That's all that means. No, nothing very sophisticated. But at the end of the day, you know where the kids are, you know where the properties are, you know where things, how many of you know where mom and dad keep all their stuff?
Well, I didn't, clearly, because it took us 3 years to get it, even though I knew I should know that from doing shows with you. But, getting your parent to tell you something and knowing that you should know where it is are two different things. And that's why I think we should take advantage of the holiday season, give them a glass of wine and see if they'll tell you where the paperwork is.
There you go. But bottom line is, at the end of the day, you're uncomfortable talking about it. They're uncomfortable talking about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. But we need to talk, because if we don't talk, we won't know where to go and what to do. So it's important.
Absolutely. Another question here was what services or benefits or programs are available for people that are in Medicare Advantage or Medicaid Advantage? Is that also a thing?
No, it's Medicare Advantage.
Medicare Advantage.
Bottom line is there are a variety of programs out there. Each one has its own criteria. But, you're right now in the middle of the Medicare changes up to the 7th or 8th of this month. So those of you that may be unhappy with what's going on as far as your health care, you might be looking at talking to some of the other programs out there and seeing if you get a better donut hole, or you get a better prescription program, or you get a better way to get what you need.
Because now's the window where you can make changes between now and December.
Now you can every year about this time, they basically go through a redistribution program, and you go through and you pick a program that you're comfortable with that'll give you the kind of. Everybody has different illnesses. Everybody has different medical needs, and everybody has different medicines. The other day, I got a client came in and told me that they had been told to get these eye drops that were $900 for a drop.
$900 eye drops?
$900 eye drops, right. Well, here was the interesting part about that. Last year, the program they were on didn't cover those drops. This year, they'll cover $900 to cover the whole year.
Wow.
So
a different program that you're in could make a $900 eye drop difference. And Jacqueline Anderson says the deadline is December 7th. So if you want to switch out your program, now's the time to do it in the next week or so.
And you should get someone smart to help you with making those choices. Don't just pick something blindly. Go out there, do a little homework, find out who's good at helping with information on the topic, who can represent that stuff to you, so you'll make a choice that's good.
Yeah. So as far as cuts to Medicare, Medi-Cal, Social Security, there's not really much we can do in terms of protecting ourselves and our families other than just making sure we are up on what's happening in terms of the information.
Well, remember that the feds are basically co-funding all these programs with the states. So California gets money from the federal government. California adds state money to it, and that together becomes Medi-Cal. And that's true throughout the union. Texas does the same. Does the same thing. So.
Right. So if he decides he's going to punish so-called sanctuary states or cities, I mean, could they actually just withhold funding for Medicare or Medi-Cal? No.
No. There are procedures in play for both up and down on that. So no.
No, unless
he may want to.
Yeah.
But
right.
he won't be able to do it.
He may try it, but it's not quite that simple. Well, those of us who have tried to navigate the systems know, as consumers know, it's not that simple. And so hopefully it's even more complicated to tear them down. We're talking with attorney Zoran Basich. Not too late to call if you have a question, or keep them coming in the chat. The number is 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Bad Ash Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Talking with attorney Zoran Basich, one of the nation's premier elder care experts. He has an organization called Nursing Home Solutions. If you want to find out more, maybe find out information about where your loved one is or might be going, or if you need help filling out the form so you don't have to pay that $25K a month for the nursing home, and yet you can keep your house and your savings, you can call 1-800-773-6467, 1-800-773-6467, which is 1-800-7-SENIOR, for those of you who know the correlation between numbers and letters on your phone. Also, you can go to nhscare.com. That's nhscare.com. Vi Peterson, who called in but couldn't stay on the phone, said she wanted to thank you, Zoran Basich, for all the help you gave to her and her family. Now, I'm not sure if she was one of the folks who had someone in a nursing home that was being abused or inadequately cared for that sued, or if she was someone that needed a living trust or will, or if she was somebody who needed help getting Medi-Cal to pay for the nursing home stay. But in any case, she felt strongly enough to call up here and ask me to thank you for the work you did on her behalf. Zoran, you there? Well, I'm not sure if we still have Zoran or if he can hear me, but certainly that was...
No, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, so Vi said thank you.
Vi was great. I got to tell you, we handled both her medical needs as well as family member who was badly treated in a nursing home, came home with illnesses that should not have happened. And so bottom line is we're starting to see a bigger problem, and one that I'm hoping you guys will pay more attention to, because it's only you recognizing it that stops it from happening. They're just ignoring our own loved ones in the facility. They're laying in bed in urine. They're trying to get to the bathroom. They ring that bell a million times and nobody opens the door and comes in and helps them. Then they slip on the wet floor, break a hip, break a shoulder, break a knee, and then now we've gone to another level of awful. So again, Vi can really speak to that more than anyone else. But please, if you have a loved one, go visit them. Go visit them at odd hours all the time, and be a pain in the ass. Take a camera with you and make sure you take pictures of everything that looks inappropriate. Believe me, they'll listen to you a whole lot more when you start doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and because that can cost them a lot of money. I know that you've sued many a nursing home that has not taken good enough care of the patients that were entrusted to them. And many times you've told me the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease. Maybe they assume that because the patient is black or Latino or whatever, that they won't get the same kind of observation that others might get. So if you do go and observe and there seems to be a problem, there's something that can be done about it.
Oh, absolutely. Call us because that's something that it just should not exist. And we see this all the time. We hate to see it. The two groups that they seem to tend to neglect the most are Black and Hispanic communities. And, it's just, it's avoidable with the right kind of attitude.
Yeah, which is, as you said, being a pain in the neck.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
We're all good at that.
Yeah, we all have that special talent. Are there programs? I mean, we talk a lot. Well, we have spots running on the station, and we talk about, all these scams that hit older Americans during the holidays, whether it be Medicare, Medi-Cal, or other kinds of ways of getting older Americans money. As you said, if you're living on a fixed income or savings, that's a pot of money that's harder to replenish when you're no longer working, maybe impossible to replenish. Are there things we should keep our eyes open for, not just in terms of like the scams that people call you and do, but also some of these programs that try to sign people up and say they're going to help you get a better deal or help you save money, but actually end up being just a ripoff?
You got to be really leery when they start out making promises. People making promises have something they want, and they want it from you. So again, your bank account, your checking account, you need to go into that bank every couple of 3 months and just make sure they still remember who you are, what your account looks like. Take a look at the account. Take a look at the money that has traveled through it, what's going on. The less money we have, the more it becomes a tight issue, and we don't want to lose any of it. So your responses to people who have things that sound like they're too good to be true, they are too good to be true. Don't respond to it. And they're looking for information from you so they can basically steal whatever they can. You just need to understand there are no free lunches, there are no free dollars, but if you're careful and you're paying attention, you can avoid that scam stuff.
Okay, and what about those things like AFLAC and Medicare Advantage and these different, I don't know, I see ads for them on TV, different insurance plans that are meant to supplement your Medicare?
Well, what happens is you have Medicare, and Medicare, let's say Medicare covers 80% of the medical needs you have. Then you need a plan that'll cover the other 20. Some do a better job of covering some prescriptions, some do a better job of covering others. So you have to know what your list of pharmaceuticals are. You have to know what you're spending on them now. And you have to kind of take a look and see what programs out there and what it'll make available to you if you need these coming to you. So, we're running tight if it's the 7th. We need to move quickly, and it's really critical that the families get busy looking at that, because otherwise you're stuck for another year with co-pays and things that may have been avoidable.
Yeah. One caller wants to know, is it a good idea to have the same MCO provider for both Medicare and Medicaid if you're happy with their services? I don't know what MCO is, but I'm assuming you do.
I heard you, but I didn't hear all of that. But
well, she says, is it a good idea to have the same MCO provider?
Managed care.
For both Medicare and Medicaid if you're happy with them.
If you're happy with them, and you're only stuck with them for a year. So if you're happy with them, that's fine. If you're not happy with them, then we need to look at getting someone else involved. But again, you don't want to wait any longer, because you're really right up to the deadline as we speak. But you can get a lot of very good care for not a lot of money as a supplemental program with Medicare. You just need to make sure you've checked it out, done your homework, and gotten the help you need.
Well, Zoran Basich, thanks for talking me off the ledge when it comes to all the things the president-elect said he's going to cut, shrink, or eliminate, and the reality, the gap between what he can do and what he can brag about doing.
Well, just real quick, the night that we had that conversation, my wife had a nightmare that Trump came to dinner at the house and then stayed the night. He wouldn't leave, and I can't tell you how funny it was. So yeah, no, you guys, we just got to put him where he belongs, in a box. So.
All right. Well, you can find Zoran and his team at nursingnhscare.com, Nursing Home Solutions, nhscare.com, or at 800-773-6467. Zoran Basich, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to be downtown at the Hall of Justice. That's 211 West Temple Street in Los Angeles. The District Attorney-elect, Nathan Hochman, is being sworn in, and we are going to let it be known that we oppose his repressive views on public safety. You can join. That's at 12 noon at the Hall of Justice, 211 West Temple, downtown Los Angeles. Hope to see you there. Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got an incredible Monday lineup for you. You can expand your brain power and have a lot of fun listening to the Tavis Smiley Show. That is up next. Tomorrow we'll have Qasim Rashid, a renowned civil rights attorney, will be joining me, and I'll look forward to that. I'm going to leave us with my favorite quote from my dad, Amiri Baraka. He says, "A man is either free or he is not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom." I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Is charged with manslaughter and negligent homicide for the 2023 death of Jordan Neely, a homeless man. Penny's lawyers claim he was protecting others